Fans of the movie, rejoice. Oh, wait, don't rejoice because we pretty much do not talk about it at all and spend most of the time talking about our boy ScoMo, oh no, and our boy Andy gets his new chess joke dissected, and it is a killer. As we watched The Inbetweeners and were joined by Tom Sanderson for this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
How did that third one keep going?
It's not.
It's only when... I don't know what it is.
It's when Hastings.
It's when I talk.
Because he's real loud.
Yeah, it must be.
All
I
right.
think I'm coming through.
Sonic Boom.
I'm coming up, so you better get this party started.
This is, Okay, so everyone's speaking to the mic. I'm channel 2.
Which one am I?
You're one.
Yeah, number 1.
Yep.
I'm number...
Seems like you're number 4. Try again.
Yes.
Definitely number 4. And Andy, that means you're...
Number 3.
You're lucky number 3.
Pissing the shit at the same time.
That means you're number 2.
We fixed the audio issues, so... I mean, we could just start it again, but...
No.
No, let's put like a funny sound effect in there and then...
Oh, we can just have silence after Andy tells the joke, and it'll be basically the same.
Crickets.
Sounds about right.
Hey, look, you guys just don't get chess, okay? So
So
what
no-
it is...
No, what,
Yeah,
so what
all
were we up
four
to?
of
So
us.
he stopped and written the thing down. Because I became aware of it because I was at home last night and not at the gig. And I looked at Twitter and I saw Alex do a joke about I have sex, like I have play chess. And then I saw
with a different
Squires-
punchline.
Yes, I saw Squires
Better
do one. And then I saw yours and was like, that one sucked. And those other two were good. And I was like, why is everyone doing chess jokes?
You guys just need to get on my level. You guys don't understand that I'm a grand master, a grand dragon, a grand whatever, a chess. I'm the king.
Grand
Well-
Hydra.
Keeping your opinion of your joke aside,
Yes.
do you agree that the other two that were posted were better than yours?
Hold on. That is a ridiculous question. Keeping my own...
No, whether or not you think yours is good.
My opinion of my own joke is inherent in whether or not something is better or worse.
I think
than
what
it. You
Rose
can't-
is trying
No,
to
but
say
you
is,
might-
can you objectively admit that your joke is the worst of the 3?
Yeah, whether or not you like it.
No, but
No, I'm ranking. Who's his worst? Go on, throw Alex or Squires
no, they're
under the
both
bus.
great jokes. I have nothing against their jokes. Mine is just the
sounds like
perfect
yours is
joke.
the worst.
I've constructed the perfect joke about coming too quickly. That's what's happened.
Okay, so...
You guys just don't get chess.
No, I
What's
get
the
chess.
overlap between
As
people who play
as we
chess?
outlined this morning, I've beaten someone with that move.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so
Yeah, it does.
this is the thing.
Way to work at a
Andy...
chess
Good comeback,
bracket.
Rose.
Great
Yeah, it
chess
does.
bracket.
Well, like, yes, it does.
Nah.
Andy-
That actually does matter.
Andy rocked up into the club yesterday and was like...
I was like, what up? I got a big
Yeah.
Walked out of the
Yeah.
elevator.
and was like, I fucking figured it out. This is the joke. And told it to, I think, 3 of us who all
Yeah.
reacted with just kind of like,
Yeah.
all right. And then Andy spent maybe 15 minutes telling us that the reason we didn't understand it is because we're not chess wizards or something like that. And then we're like, no, we get it. It's that you come quick. And then you were just like, it's because you don't play chess.
You guys don't get chess.
How often do
So,
you play
Like,
chess?
how can you just
Like
keep
once a
saying
year.
that?
Once a year.
Well,
How much do
I
you have
used to
sex?
play a lot. I used
Okay,
to play a
well,
lot.
unpack the joke
Yeah.
Oh,
for,
explain.
for us dummies that don't play chess.
Okay, so
Yeah.
first you move the king's pawn out, right? Okay,
Mhm.
then you move the king's bishop across the board so that it lines up with the opposing king's knight. So it's
Uh-huh.
like the spot, yep, so the pawn in front of
I can
that.
hear people unsubscribing.
Then you pull your
The
queen
only
out.
porn they want to hear about this is porno.
Yeah.
You pull the queen out hard right on the king's side because you got to do this. You're starting from white here.
So hard R.
Yeah, yeah. And then you go. Then the queen goes in.
Hey, the
takes
only queen they
pawn.
want to hear about is one that's a bit like this.
So then the queen takes the pawn in front of the king, the black.
Yeah, the queen takes
king's-
the pawn.
Right, and then the king. The only piece that can take the queen from there is the king, but he can't because the bishop is protecting him.
Yeah, right.
So it's,
We
you get a checkmate in 4 moves. Now, what happens when I have sex is I put my penis into a vagina, and then 4 moves later, I come.
Yeah, so it is that you just are a premature ejaculator.
Yeah.
So we do all understand the joke.
Yeah.
No,
we
because
get it.
like
Yeah.
because like the queen comes at like
Are you the queen in this?
no,
queen's
I'm
porn.
me having sex and coming too quickly. So
With a dude.
Okay, so it's really
Yeah, but you're
got
a queen.
nothing to do with the chess move.
no, so okay, no, you don't understand.
Like no one.
So the king's
it's
porn
not,
comes
it's,
out.
It's
right?
not like a known thing that at the end of sex you go, oh, checkmate.
Yeah. Also, I don't think that like
Sex.
if we read a book about chess, I wouldn't suddenly think, "Oh, that is funny."
No,
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
aren't.
yeah, yeah.
Guys, you guys aren't getting this, right? 4 moves, right?
Okay.
It takes 4 moves to
Yes,
win in a
4
game of
strokes.
chess, and it
4
takes
strokes.
4 strokes for me to come.
That's
I don't,
not winning.
No, you guys don't play chess.
Even if that is like, even if that is what you mean, then like you need to change the wording around.
No, I'm pretty good at writing jokes.
No,
Hang on,
so okay.
Explain it again. Go on, just one more
Okay.
time.
So the king.
So it takes 4. If you start as well, you have to. It doesn't work if you can do a variation of if playing as black, but it actually takes 5 moves if you do it from the black position. If you're playing as white, you can win
So
a
you're
game
saying
of
that
chess
black
in
starts
4
one
moves.
move.
Now, when I'm having sex with a woman in her pussy, I can come within 4 moves.
What about in her
because
butt?
I come very quickly. No, that takes longer.
Longer.
Yeah, dude.
Why?
Because you can't thrust as quickly because it
Yeah, but
doesn't
there's
matter. I don't want to get
suction.
into the logistics of that. What I do want to talk about is you move the queen's bishop out. Okay? No, fuck. Is it the no? Yeah, it's the queen's.
So you don't even know the move.
Look, I don't have a chessboard in front of me.
So
you
need-
get the bishop protecting the opposing the pawn in front of the opposing king's knight, and then you get your queen in that spot. You can get that there in 2 moves because you've already used 2 moves getting the pawn and the bishop out.
Right.
So you can win the game of chess.
But what part of all
in
these
4 moves?
What part of all these technicalities do we need to understand that you come too quick?
Well, okay, so a pawn moves one, like it can move 1 square in like any
Right.
situation except the first time a pawn moves, because then it can move 2
So
squares
is
forward.
that like your dick going in to the pussy?
Yeah, so that's the first stroke. That's like the first like
Okay,
pump
well maybe
into
if you
the-
explain it in more detail like this, I'd think it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So then my dick does a 90-degree bend.
no, there's
kind of
no,
like a
there's
classic
no
knight.
There's no
Yeah.
knights in
Yeah.
this. It's a
Bishop being
bishop.
a
It goes
dick.
diagonally, right? Okay, it goes
Which is
diagonally.
kind of like a boner.
Well, because like okay, so if you're playing chess, right, and there's okay, so if you've got 2 pawns and they're kind of staggered, or you've got 2 pieces and they're kind of staggered, the bishop can kind of intersect them diagonally. Like it doesn't jump over them like a horse does, but intersects them.
So what part of that is your dick?
Well, that's my dick going between the pussy lips,
Okay.
right? So that happens like once. So that's like so you move the pawn out. So then you've kind of staggered the first 2
And
pawns.
what's the pawn being moved out? The underwear coming down, maybe? Or like-
No, that's my dick going in the first time.
okay.
4
or,
moves.
Or maybe the pawn being removed is you messaging a girl saying like your boyfriend's not home, right? And she's like, no, and you're like,
No,
shit,
that-
pawn
no.
out.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
no,
Wanna
no,
play some chess?
because then
Are we punching up this
because
joke?
it's 4.
man.
No, because
I don't
it's
want
4 moves. It's a 4-move checkmate. In this metaphor, that's setting up the board, saying, "Hey, do you want to play chess?" That's me getting in the Uber, me getting to the girl's house to play chess. That's me saying, "Are you up? I want to come over and play chess," and then fuck you. And so you got your bishop, okay, and he goes down, and then
Like a boner.
like a boner, and the queen comes out, and that's like the 3rd move.
So
like
what's the
third-
queen? Maybe the clitoris?
It's also my dick. Every piece
Okay.
is my dick.
Okay.
And
I think this is actually a pretty funny joke.
Yeah,
Now
this
that
is
you've-
really growing
now
on
that you've
me.
explained it 8 or 9
so
times.
the queen,
I don't know.
The
I
third
think,
move is the
you,
queen's,
you
and that's like
dissect
my
the
dick.
bird and you lose its song.
Nah, you just got your new hour, 4-move checkmate. And
I want
then-
you to do this joke for the first time tonight, but when it bombs, then just explain the technicalities of chess to a crowd of lunatics
Like,
around.
continue
Hold on.
explaining to the
Do you
room
guys?
runner
I got a
as you go.
phone call. Do you guys want to hear this?
Yeah, yeah.
I know exactly what it's going to be. You guys ready? This is going to be good.
Okay.
Good evening. This is an important call for Mr. Andrew Hastings from Westpac. Please press any key to continue.
I owe them a lot of money.
You get
didn't
that
hang
call
up.
every
you didn't
day.
hang up.
Yeah, you should probably hang up.
Did you get that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Now they have you on tape saying that. Well, they knew that you were.
Like you just-
Yeah, they know I-
Operator, please.
We got him.
So then you move the pawn out to.
So then the bishop is all the pieces of my dick.
Okay, I will
You
play.
remember, you are not allowed to hang up, Gary.
I will play any one of you in chess right now.
Hastings borrows money how he plays chess. He rage quits. I don't know, stalemate.
Come on, Sando, do better.
See, I was gonna say.
Hey, look, man, it's not easy to riff a chess joke.
I was gonna say that the reason Andy compares sex to chess is because he did a lot in high school. Because Andrew likes to fuck high school girls because he's a pedophile.
Yes, that's right.
No,
The better
no,
joke.
I'm not a
Yeah,
pedophile. I want to be crystal clear about this.
So you're
How
the
come-
king.
Do not
There's a row
know.
of porn.
If
No.
you're
There's
not a
year
pedophile,
10
Children.
dance
No.
Yes.
No.
So the row of
That's
porn.
not what it's like.
they're called child porn.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and
No.
they're a year 9 dance class. You want to get
Absolutely
them out
not.
of the way to take the queen, which is a nice 17 to 18-year-old, maybe in a couple of months thing.
Yeah.
Get invited
No.
to her 18th
Plausible
party, make a
No.
speech, be the funniest, and then fuck her.
I only have sex with adult women.
If you're not a pedophile, how come all we talked about last episode was how much you are one?
Okay, so you take the rook.
Yeah, there's no rook in the form of checkmate.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what if the rook is my
The only
penis?
pieces you use is you use a pawn, a bishop, and the queen. The queen has 2 moves. The other type 1 move
If your
each.
penis had to be a chess
Yeah.
piece, what would it be?
I reckon
good
it'd be
question.
shaped like the horse.
No,
Like
no,
real
no.
bent
Like
crooked.
a
Right.
crook in the
No,
end.
no.
Likes to chew on carrots. And
No,
salt.
I have my penis is the mighty queen.
I think you're the
Moves
king
in any
that you
direction.
have one move at all times.
Yeah.
And there's a cross on the end of it.
Yeah.
Hey, the king can move in any direction, and it's the most important piece in the game. That's
No, the
Surely
queen's
his
the
would be
most
the
important
bishop
piece
because
in
it
the
likes
Can't-
touching
it's
underage
absolutely
women.
not, because you can win the game after you've lost the queen. So don't worry about it. The queen is important.
The queen
but
is the most
king is
powerful
the central.
piece in the
Yes,
game.
but the king is the most central.
It
most
seems like you have a
important
pretty good grasp of chess, but a bad grasp of
comedy,
jokes.
yeah.
Yeah.
character. No, because
Yeah.
4 moves, right? So the word for 4 moves is really like that's how long it takes me to come.
Is it like 4 ingredients?
No,
Okay.
no. It's like 4 thrusts, like pumps of my penis into a pussy.
Uh-huh.
That's how many times in the context of the joke. It's not even real. This is just in the context of the joke.
Do you
That's
come
how many-
on the 4th pump or after?
I
Does
come
that-
off
Like,
the
is it like
floor.
scissors, paper,
So,
rock? Or
as the queen
situation.
goes into that the king's knights like the pawn in front
This
of it.
makes me so
As
happy.
the queen,
the
the checkmate happens immediately then, and so I come immediately at the end of the 4th stroke.
Let's just call this episode the chess joke with special guest Tom Sanderson. I mean, let's get it out of the way. Welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about teen sex comedies. I'm your host, Jamie Kirk, joined by chess grandmaster.
Andrew was
Rook.
Deep Blue Hastings.
Okay, and joined by Kasparov.
yeah. I was going to say Bobby Fischer,
Okay.
Rose Piper.
And we've got a very special guest today, one of Powerbomb's own, about to leave for
special.
Melbourne. You've heard about him referred to as Som Sanderson
No,
on
we
the
can't
podcast.
reveal that.
Oh,
That's
no.
a dark secret.
Guys, don't
Serial
blow my
harasser, Tom Sanderson.
It's not harassing. It's
I
like
know.
coercing.
We're
It's, you know, it's-
joking.
Oh, no, I know you're
Okay.
joking.
Oh, God, that was sinister what you just said.
Is coercion worse than harassment?
Yes.
But at least
No,
you're
they
still
call-
their friend. You know?
Is rape worse than sex? I don't know.
They call it grooming.
Certainly feels.
Oh, man.
Grooming.
Man, he's the real.
No, wait, that's what Andy does.
So anyway, let's get it all out of the way. We all saw the Inbetweeners. We all had varying opinions about it. Back to the chess joke.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Elaborate, Hastings.
And then we've got a hot political update
Yeah,
we've
we
got to
do.
get to.
You guys familiar with castling in chess?
No, but I read a move today in chess that
Is that where you
sounded.
switch the king
Yes.
with the castle?
Yes, and it's
So you
called a
put
rook.
the king in the corner.
So that's like stealthing.
Yeah, close.
Yeah.
Well, you
Everyone
trick
knows.
Put the
someone.
king in the corner, but
Also,
no one puts
en
baby
passant,
in the corner.
that's a chess move. I know
There
that
was one
too.
today that made me laugh because it sounded a bit like sucking a penis.
Is it en passant?
No, I would remember that. It sounded like kind of German. Now I.
Was it an opening?
It began with Z, I think.
I don't know. I don't actually know any of the opening moves.
Zid
names.
dick sucking.
Yeah. No, it's called Zugsvang, which sounds like Zugs Wang. Which I was like,
funny.
Oh, is that Zug's
What
van,
is it?
man?
Yeah, I was
What
like,
is it?
yeah, Zugs Wang, you dude.
What
You
does
gotta
it
zug- You got to zug my wang.
What does it mean? Is it an opening or is it like what does it mean?
Well, it actually works quite well with Zug Wang because it's when a player is put at a disadvantage by having to make a move where any legal move weakens the position.
oh yeah.
Zug's
Okay, good.
Wang occurs at the
That's
end
funny.
game.
Hastings
which
is more than
kind of
happy
what
to
you-
make an illegal
Yeah.
move.
So kind of like a
First
fork, because
position.
like that was like a chess. I don't know the.
It's
fancy
so
names.
funny how much he's trying to make it look like he's an absolute chess master.
Well,
at
he-
the
Oh, I
moment.
was pretty average at
Do you
chess.
have a travel chess set, like one of those little magnetic ones?
They're not good. I don't like those.
I had one.
I have a good one.
God. Yeah, the action's no good on those little pieces.
I have a good.
I'm stuck in my nose.
I had one of them,
I have
but
a
it
nice
wasn't
board.
magnets. It was like little slots.
Man,
Slots.
you guys should
Oh,
fuck
little
off
holes.
doing
Things,
Crown or
slots.
take your
Ooh.
chessboard to tutor and have a game and just refer to it as pedophilia the whole time. I got an hour or so free after this.
Can I watch from 3 tables away?
I'd love to hear
What, me and
Andy
Hastings
talk all this
scream
shit
at each other?
about like chess and then just beat him in a game of Connect 4 or
Oh
something.
man, you know what? I actually suck at Connect 4. I'm so fucking shit
It's
at
such an easy game.
it. Get a chessboard.
I
out,
always-
cunt. Let's see how it goes.
I always play for the draw. on
Gotcha.
Connect.
Yeah, Connect
Diagonally.
Four, well-
Pretty sneaky, Andy.
working with kids, you can't ever beat them at anything because it'll shatter their fragile self-esteem. So you really have to play for the draw. But sometimes they manage to not like capitalize on serious flaws in my
Fucking
game plan.
idiot.
Yeah, they are. Children are fucking morons. I could not be happier to be leaving this job. My goodness. Oh yeah, I'm.
Don't say
And then
it on
presumably-
record for when you come back.
Oh yeah, I might want that job back.
yeah. Beep.
I have been telling
Through
my parents
there.
I'm about to be on a very famous podcast. So
If we get more listeners than we claimed on radio. We
yeah.
get almost double the 40 listeners we claimed on radio.
40 is a funny number though. Why do you burp into the mic?
Yeah, people.
It's called podcasting. Tom, heard of it?
Although
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
have.
a lot of negative feedback about the burping into
Really?
the mics, yeah.
What?
I used to
It's
burp in the
gross.
mic.
Is it
You know
just
what
from
happened to
your-
my podcasts?
What?
Got cancelled after 200 episodes. by
Yeah.
us. We
Hey,
made
and
it.
who did the last one?
Did you?
I never got
No,
it.
you
Oh,
did.
that is not a good
Oh,
brag.
well, you know.
You
my,
did.
Yeah,
my,
that's it.
my brother
I'm a serial podcaster.
and our friend from overseas.
Yeah, I did Tom Sanderson's podcast. Like, yeah, cool, man.
I never
Hey,
got
it was a
invited.
sick
I
pod-
did
Hey,
it-
Jamie,
I did
we
like-
weren't good friends when it was happening.
I did.
I
like-
think we were at the end, and you were
Oh no, I
talking.
think I did
Because
invite
you were
but
like
couldn't
video
do it.
games, and I was like, yeah, I talk about video games, and you're like, we don't really talk about video games anymore. And I was like, fuck
This
this
still
shit,
would have been
dude.
great.
I did
I'm
it
very
3
sorry.
times. One
Yeah.
time I was co-guest with Rooney Talwa.
Rooney
Hell
Talwa.
yeah, that rules.
That was.
Did he contribute a lot
Didn't
of hot
you
ribs?
teach him
He
how to
d-
smoke
yeah,
a cone?
well, you
Oh,
and
that was
I. He smoked
amazing.
his first ever cone outside on Tom's deck.
on the
I
podcast.
remember seeing video of that.
So you guys turned him into the tie-dye shirt wearing 420 hit lord he is now.
I actually have a story to tell right now.
Okay.
please.
Is it about chess? Okay,
No.
we'll leave it for the next episode.
So okay, so this story is not about Rooney Talwa. Wink. It's about Rooney Talwa. I don't give a shit.
Did you even wink when you said wink?
Well, it's an audio medium.
Yeah, I suppose so.
you normally talk into the box like there are people in there. Yeah, you didn't
You
win.
Yeah,
should
I
see the way whenever we talk about Pat Doherty, Hastings like leans into it and screams. We can do a Pat Doherty update after this story.
Oh, that's good actually.
yeah.
Yeah, right. There's no real update. Like, there's no.
Oh, I've been getting a lot of messages
Yeah, Pat
that
tweets
would
over to me a
maybe
lot.
inform there being an update.
Yeah.
Well, like, all right. Let's not actually. Like,
And that may have explained the situation in a little more context that doesn't paint you in the world's best light.
whatever. I don't give a fuck,
Whatever.
dude.
Does he even know who I am?
Somehow I don't think Hastings brings his best self to the air. You don't talk about his achievements or his,
I don't know that there
his-
isn't my best self. I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Anyway, so I'm at Tudor Comedy Cider Fest the other day.
Oh yeah.
And
the other comedy
Rooney
festival.
Talwa's on stage, and he's
Running
just
October.
fucking annihilating. Like, he's just crushing it up so fucking hard. Like, it was pretty. Like, he's such a good comic. So he's crushing, and we're all sitting. Like,
What bits?
he did. I told you in the group chat. I think what was the.
Nanny?
You said it was something about someone falling asleep on him on the bus
Oh
or
yeah, it's a
something.
bit about he's on the plane and someone falls asleep on his shoulder.
That's
yeah.
a classic.
Yeah, it's about like his
Great
intimacy.
I've
and-
never figured out a way to do that.
Yeah.
What the
Anyway,
fall
so
falls
you-
on someone's shoulder.
No, to write a bit about it.
Ah,
It's
right.
kind of like I've been like looking at this chessboard for weeks, being like, what can I do with this?
Yeah.
You know what the chessboard says back to you? Checkmate.
Yeah, go on.
So I'm there, and Rooney Talwa walks off stage, and we're going, hey, Rooney, that was great. You know, you're gonna stick around and have a beer. And he goes, and he goes, oh nah, man, I'm just too fucking high, man. I gotta go.
Oh my lord.
And they're
That's
like,
so cool,
and then
man.
and then there was like a beat,
Fuck.
and like no one said anything. There was a beat, and then he goes, plus, you know, I got weed at home, so
Almost the
Oh,
same
dude,
thing.
Did you he almost invited you around. You should have gone back to his place.
I did accidentally in all I accidentally let out a slip of just like, oh man, that's fucking cool, and he got so snarky with me. He was like, shut the fuck up.
I think I know what Rose was about to say.
Well, almost that same thing happened. Like, he was standing like where Tom is sitting.
Yeah.
And my ex and I were over on the couch, and he was telling us that he was like going overseas. That's why he wouldn't be around. And we were just like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, well,
where overseas was he going?
A little place, the Windy City, I would assume.
it actually wasn't there, but it was in America. It was Salt Lake City for like a work thing.
I remember that.
Yeah, but
They're running a
way
second
too much
city.
about where Rooney's been.
but we were just like,
It's so
yeah,
necessary to bully him.
that's
Like,
cool,
it is.
man. And then he just goes, all right, well, I'm gonna go get high. And we both just sat there like, all right, man.
Nah, wait.
Good for you.
I mean, we shit on the poor guy, but it's not like we've heard the exact same thing come out of Andy's mouth for like the last year and a half.
true.
Yeah,
but
but there's
Andy-
a sense of shame when I do it.
Also,
I-
Andy-
There's a
That's
sense
true,
of shame
actually.
when you do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like well, I'm gonna go get high.
So
I would have liked to have seen. After that first time you said, yeah, I would have liked to have taken a photo of that.
So do we want to do the Doherty update?
Oh yeah.
What's to update? I mean, I'm just, maybe you should just reply to my text messages.
Well, what's to
So-
update is that apparently you text too much.
That's not true. It's
You're
objectively
clean.
You're
You're
drowning him in text?
You're
That
a
was
stage
just an
5
Alex
clinger,
White-
bro.
That was
Oh,
just an
boy.
Alex White accusation. It's been 2 texts.
talks a
and they
lot
were
of
completely
sense.
unrelated.
Show us the history.
I'll show you the
Yeah,
fucking
Oh,
history.
yeah.
Fucking
Live
history
on
of
air.
fucking
Yeah,
now.
baby.
Show us the history.
I would love to show you the fucking
Show me
history.
the
Yeah,
receipts.
don't keep an eye on him. He's deleting.
I'm
the
not
messages.
deleting shit. Fucking, that's been a few weeks. That's been like a few days actually.
For
A
context,
few days.
For context, while Andy does this, he's embroiled in
Have a look. Have a
He's
look.
embroiled in a
Have a
booking
look.
meeting with Pat Doherty. I love how it says no internet connection on here.
Oh, my phone has been cut off for weeks.
Yeah, dude.
You're not on the Wi-Fi here?
There's such a needy. Hey Pat, I thought I was on the lineup for tonight.
I'm just saying. I thought I was.
Well,
this is
it's like
great.
it's always good when the messages from you are always way longer than the other person's.
Yeah.
Like Pat is giving you.
What I'm saying is that he doesn't fucking respect me.
There's no
No, he doesn't
two-liners
like
from
you.
there.
It's a different.
These were sent in the last week.
Yeah, 2 messages.
Yeah, no,
That's
two.
fine. And they were about
Yeah.
unrelated things. Like one wasn't even asking for spots.
Oh, hang on, sorry.
So, don't worry about it. I'm just saying you should reply to
Man.
my text messages.
Pat's real funny. That's a good joke. Did you
yeah,
guys get that too? Or?
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah.
group chat
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I don't even know who the fuck
It's like
I
having
am.
a spidey sense, where you're just worried about group chats that I'm not in.
Come on.
Um,
we not do.
His own bit to bully him. That's great.
It's a
It's
runner.
a
I mean, we've been doing-
it's a
we've been-
recurring runner. You better believe once this chess bit takes flight, we're going to start talking about coming in our pants and be like, was it like chess? I really want this
man.
bit to go well. I want you to prove me wrong.
yeah.
I'm
Could be the
gonna
new butt baby.
I'm gonna sell the fucking shit out of this bit tonight.
Yeah, but how? What do you do to sell this
I mean,
bit?
mate, write a new one probably. But that,
Sold
Are
it
you gonna
pretty
get, like,
hard
real
when you're sitting at the
physical?
table.
yeah,
it'll become the crow.
thrusting and
I
shit.
I kicked back against the crow so hard.
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure you just did it to spite me.
it ended up being like it got like it's listed in a review as a good bit. It's like some people have said it's like their favorite bit of mine.
You know what else is listed in
It's
a
called
review of
commitment.
yours? Comedy is a horse he often falls on.
Frequently,
Frequently. Yeah, that's
we
true.
can I could quote good reviews too, but I'm
No,
not
but the
gonna.
point is, reviews don't mean a fucking thing.
Well, you can. Anyone can look up someone else's reviews.
Yeah. Daniel Sloss was
I-
hilarious in his new Netflix special.
I've had good reviews. Anyway,
Hey, is it time for a politics update?
Oh yeah, we should talk about this
Mm.
just because it's kind of important, and we all need to get those Daniel H jobs, baby.
no homo ScoMo.
Yeah, dude. No FOMO, ScoMo, homo.
Man, I'm getting that ScoMo FOMO right now.
Ah, baby. Kokomo, Jamaica. Lip spill, I want to make ya.
What about
Yes,
this?
they get better every time.
Man, I love Rivers ScoMo.
Have you seen that Rivers Cuomo, like, Weezer just did a song, like, release a new song after about the Uber drivers? Man, it's
No, I haven't seen this.
So, like, I am...
Oh no, I thought we were talking about Skoto. Or ScoMo,
no,
Toto.
no.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There
I've
was
seen
something-
that.
Oh
there
yeah,
was
they
something
did the
there.
cover of Toto's, Skotos,
Africa.
Nauru. It was called.
That's funny.
That's good. That's very good.
See, why won't
That's
ABC
clever.
return all my emails? I keep writing Pat
get-
Doherty. Give it back.
You should get Hastings to call.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like Dan Illick doesn't know who the fuck I am.
no. Weezer released a new song. And I am, I would say I'm a staunch Weezer defender. Like, they've had their
Weezer's
bad
sick,
points,
dude.
but, like, they've had their very good points as well. Are you looking at how long
Guys, we've been
doing?
recording for 45 minutes. We have not said the name of the movie.
No, we said it.
No,
Yeah, we did.
We've already
Alright.
got it completely out of the way. The movie
Yeah,
is...
Oh my god.
Dumb
All right, fine.
fucking movie.
Who cares? Inbetweeners was fine. Come on.
Yeah, we said that. But
We'll
will
get to it at the end.
we
It'll be
will
like a
talk to it.
coda or something.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Maybe we should just abandon the conceit of this pod. Maybe we should just
I
talk.
feel like you're gonna have to at some point.
Actually,
You're
I
gonna
did
move.
want to say that because, like, I realized while watching the last movie, I think, was like...
Do you hate watching the movies?
When we were coming up
yeah,
with
they are a pain.
when we were coming up with the idea for the podcast, we were like talking about like American Pie and Road Trip and like Van
Yeah.
Wilder and all this stuff that we had all this like
Yeah.
nostalgic love and like reverence for. And then I remembered that 99%
Yeah,
of the movies
they're
in this
almost all
genre
bad.
are fucking terrible.
It sounds like a real
And I have
chore.
to,
I don't
like,
know why you put
waste
yourself
like
through
an
it.
hour and a half of my life a week
I love
watching
that
them.
we're live podcasting the demise of our podcast. That's not even.
But out of the ashes
successful.
will be born a new, better podcast where you're free to make fun of Hastings jokes all week.
No, but like that's the beautiful thing about this. We could say it's the Inbetweeners as a hook to get more on listeners in,
Yeah,
That's
and then
true.
never,
Fucking
and then
idiots.
just talk about chess jokes.
All right. Well, here's an
And
example.
rapidly watch our listenership count dwindle.
Well, I've been feeling like a real in-betweener because I've been in between jobs recently, but I've recently started a new job. We can talk about that.
And you're a bender.
You're a bloody puff with the Thames, mate. I'm doing an Australian accent.
G'day, mate. You're
G'day, mate.
You're a bloody Cockney bender.
I'm one of the in-betweeners. I come from Bankstown. Now I'm back in English. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
so
think
gonna,
maybe you're not good at accents.
I was gonna say that
you know Lacasio.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No, Lacasio. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Lacasa ScoMo.
Let's go. I was
Lacascamo.
trying to get there, goddamn.
Wait, no, it's
That's
gotta-
why you got to just say it, dude.
It's got to be Lacascamo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there
what
you
I
go.
was trying to get to.
He's like,
I had to borrow money off Jamie for a haircut the other day.
oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh.
And then I just told the whole story.
I mean, we've
Worst
also
$50 you ever spent, Jamie?
no, because I once earlier this year bankrolled Hastings to about $220.
yeah, that's
Wow.
true.
Just buying him beers at random nights, and he was like, "You keeping a tab, right?" And I was like, "Oh, you better believe
Wow.
I did pay you back in the end, right?
You did pay me back
Yeah.
in installments."
Yeah.
You're gonna get to it. You owe me $70 billion.
I wouldn't be
No way,
surprised
that's for
if
the
he owed me
voyage of
more
the-
because Hastings does something that I find is quite rude, but I let him do it because I love him so much. But I fucking hate when people like that like if you have a pack of cigarettes out on a bench, they don't say, "Hey man, can I grab a
I
cigarette
just feel
off
like
you?"
we're past that. I used to do that.
Just ask. He just grabs them out of the pack and starts
All right.
smoking. I'm like, that
Have
cost me
you-
$35.
Yeah, that's real
All right.
rude, Hastings.
Have you
I
not-
ask in the shittiest
All right.
way possible. when
Sorry.
I'm
Have you
doing
not
a
noticed
cigarette
that
off Jamie.
almost everything he does is rude? I've yelled at him in customer service situations because he's so rude.
Okay. Jamie, I didn't realize that bothered you. I apologize. In future, I will ask.
Okay.
Hastings is the reason
We're
my
cool,
Uber
man.
rating
Should
is
we get up and
4.5.
I've
Sharing
Yeah, bro.
Ubers with Hastings, and he always
I've
sits in
watched
the
mine
front
go
seat
down
in
before and
real
after
time
a ride
before.
with him.
That's so funny.
Hastings gets in. It's like, you like
I
pussy,
checked
dude.
it. Seriously,
Yeah,
I
you're
checked
like-
it before the ride and then after, and it went down.
No.
Like,
that
nudge
can't
the
be
Uber
true.
driver
happened.
and like guffaw at him about like how much pussy he's eating, then he'll forget
Yeah.
to split the fucking Uber with you on the way to Paramount.
The Uber driver writes comments on Rose's thing, and he's like, I have never heard the word nut inside her so much.
Hyphenated.
It seems, if you guys don't want to be my friend, just don't be my friend.
We
You know what
love
I
being
mean?
your friend, Hastings.
Like, you guys don't, I'm not making you guys hang out with me. If you
But
guys
you
don't
know-
like
you
me,
know
just
when
don't hang
you're
out
like-
with me.
Hastings, I like being your friend. I just wish
It's
you were
crazy.
a better one.
Yeah,
You know what-
it's
you know when
crazy
you-
that I
You know when
ask you to hang out with me so much,
Yeah.
only to have you like parasitically suck my money and affects away from me.
You know how you keep people on your Facebook who are crazy and they make you feel better? about
Yeah, that's
yourself?
the IRL
Oh,
vibe.
there's so many names you can say right now.
Look, I will give you that $50 back, Jamie.
I know. Well, let's just say I'll
In
just
the hair
circle back
treatments.
to it. Weezer released a new song and it's about Uber and it's fucking awful.
Pro
I-
or
What is it?
anti?
It's like pro Uber drivers, but
Oh,
it's
right,
like
but
the
not pro
most
Uber
gimmicky
corporation.
bullshit.
Do you reckon they got some cash from Uber?
It seems like they'd have to,
Or
else
Uber
like
driver. Uber hate their drivers.
like it's
Yeah, but for as a marketing tool,
I reckon they've got this wrong. I'm pro Uber Corporation. Fuck the drivers. They're very good.
that's a hot take, Tom.
that is a hot take.
Uber, the corporation.
Hot
doing
take
well.
Tom's a good nickname for you, actually. I
thank
like that.
you.
Hot take Tom, just
Hot
with
take
the
Tom.
fucking shittiest takes.
It's better than Fat
HTT.
Sander. It's so much better than Fat Sander.
Oh man, I miss Fat Sander.
He's coming
so
back.
That's a
much.
classic high school name, which is just no creativity at
Fat
all. It's like, well, he's
Sando.
fat,
Well,
and
he
his
wasn't-
last name's Sanderson.
The problem is, he wasn't
He's
Fat
like
Sando when he
Sando.
was Fat Sando. He was just Sando then. It's when you need skinny, like
Skinny
it's,
Sando gives
Okay, so you know
context
how when
for
people
Fat
talk
Sando.
about, like, people complain about how John Howard started describing things as started describing things as Australian and un-Australian because what you're doing is creating definitions and things can only exist
Speaking of hot takes,
like as
Speaking of
like
politics.
by creating something you immediately and automatically create the inverse.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like for Fat Sando doesn't exist without Skinny Sando. Without Skinny Sando, it's just Sando.
it's
So what does
Schro-
successful Hastings look like?
I mean, it's like the ideal, I guess. It's the
got a
thing you
haircut
guys are all.
that's
It's
worth more
all.
than
It exists in
$50.
your mind. But you're right. You're absolutely
The
right.
idea that successful Hastings exists in my mind is not true.
No, but like, because the things that the fact that you can see.
Actually, he does.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Successful
It has to.
Hastings is Davis.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, complete fuck up with a good job who owns 2 properties.
I got
They both
noogied by
sound like-
You
successful
can't go
men.
down that
The
road
Tita-
too
the
far, though, because
Titanic.
that's way too niche.
Yeah, that's too niche. Davis is a friend of mine who is
Many stories about him
yeah.
have been told on this podcast.
yeah, who is one of the stupidest cunts I know. But
All right.
He's also who does he idolizes Hastings because Hastings got fisted, right?
No,
Yeah.
I fisted someone.
Yeah, but you later got fisted.
yeah, he calls him
I've never been fisted.
Davis
You've
calls
never been
it-
fisted.
Yeah.
No, I got a finger up there. I didn't get fisted.
Then why do you have all
And
those
an
enormous
enjoy.
butt plugs?
They're pretty skinny.
The butt plugs.
No,
Man,
that's
I
the
couldn't fit that one in my mouth.
the fat end is
And
the
I
end you
tried.
hold it by, and that stops it from going up your ass permanently.
I mean, that's a good feature.
Isn't
but
it? It's made
all
of
butt
glass
plugs
as
have
well,
that.
right?
All, no, that's my
All
other
butt
butt plug.
plugs
So I
have
have 2 butt plugs. one.
You had one like 2 weeks ago.
So the one, okay. So the one that Sando saw is one that's on loan, and I own one myself.
What, like from the Smithsonian or something?
Yeah, dude, it's the Declaration of Independence.
Loan
This
someone a
belongs in
butt
the museum.
and by ass.
You're the kind of guy who'd give it back without washing
My
too.
ass. That is a
Both
good
of
riff
them.
that we missed.
I got home. I got home the other day, and my fiance, who I love very much, had borrowed my butt plug.
Sick.
Hang on, did you find her with the butt plug in her? Were you
No,
like,
no, I
"What?
came
What?
home."
What's that?
No,
For
okay,
context,
that would have been an opportunity to do one of my bits.
For
Harry.
context,
Yeah,
we
it's-
should
yeah.
say as well that it's got a tail.
Yeah.
Is
It
Andy's
does not
a
have a
furry.
tail.
It looks kind of
does
like
not have a
It
tail.
does
kind
look
of like a
an
dolphin.
orc.
And
Yeah,
he's
like an
not
orca
only a
crossed with
pedophile,
bottom
but
open
also
one.
a furry.
I'm not a furry or a pedophile. I cannot
It looks
be
like
clearer
a
about this.
keychain
Yeah,
that a pedophile
you like to
would
dress
have.
up like a dog and fuck 16-year-olds.
It's like a ferret
not
sticking out of
true.
your ass.
Like if you're already dressed as a dog,
I
why don't you
feel-
just fuck like you're dressed as a dog.
I feel so bad for anyone who this is their first episode and they listen because they love the Inbetweeners. I feel so bad for them.
Hey,
I feel
I
bad
feel
for
bad
the
for them that they love.
Inbetweeners.
Yeah, we're going for the
I
same
called
thing.
you a bender. It's fine.
I liked the bit where the guy did cocaine and got shit on his nose. That was funny.
man,
that was a
real
good
funny.
bit. That was a good bit, man. That's a good bit.
I mean, it's highly improbable. You'd smell the shit, sure.
But that's a real Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
the
absolutely. They
That's
hold
true.
on to it the whole fucking time too. That gun is revealed in the first 10 minutes.
I actually forgot where it was going.
Such-
I was like,
such good
yeah,
payoff.
this has got to be in here.
They even
I love
teased
how
it
the
at one
girl
stage
around
where he
his
goes,
arms just
No.
like doesn't care that he's just reached and pulled something out of his asshole and then like didn't go wash his hands or something like that.
Yeah, she was just like,
She's
now
like,
finger
"Well,
me.
we got
now
him."
Finger me with these. And he's like, all right,
I
bender.
I was so attracted to that chick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
They're
thought
all
she
Of course
so
you were.
hot.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
way hotter than the skinny blonde girl.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Bond girl is
She's
pretty
really well
hot, too.
cast. Like the idea of like a bigger girl who's like very cool and attractive and like
Funny.
very desirable, and for him to be a dick for not wanting, like that's perfectly cast. I thought she was great.
I thought the turn.
Also, Jay himself, like the TV show is so much better than the movie, but
Yes.
Jay himself is perfectly cast. Really, the core cast are all perfectly cast.
See, the only character I liked was the oaf.
Neil. Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
Have you seen the TV show?
No, I
Oh,
never.
the
I
TV
never
show
watched
is
it.
genuinely
The
incredible.
TV
Like,
show is a much less
it's
exaggerated
way more
version
subtle.
of that.
It's way more. It's very real. Like
There are
it's,
no fucking montages in the TV show.
Yeah.
That's the true joy of the TV
yeah.
show.
The TV show. So the TV show, I thought it was like a perfect antidote to Skins.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly
I
what it
remember
was.
when
It's
Skins
so-
came out, everyone was like, this is what it feels like to be a teenager. And the
And-
first
and then-
episode is
yeah,
them going
ah.
to a mansion and doing MDMA and they're 15.
Yeah.
I was like, No.
No, this isn't what
You know
it's
how
like
big
to be a
now-
It's,
teenager
it's just
at
four
all.
blokes playing FIFA being like, I wank to her, wank to her.
The best
Yeah.
comparison I can think of would be Big Mouth. Like, it just except instead of them being 12, they're 17. Like, it
Yeah.
is, the TV show. It's exactly what it feels like to be 17.
And Nick
Like,
Kroll
there's-
doesn't voice 8 of the 10 characters.
Yeah, and he doesn't do
He
extended.
only does 2.
And he doesn't do extended bullshit
he does heaps. He
ribs.
does heaps of
Yeah.
characters.
But,
Nick Kroll does heaps of those characters.
Yeah, that's what.
no,
That's what I'm
Rose said he only does 2. He does like,
Yeah, it was a
You-
bit, dude.
I've met in this movie, you fucking idiot. You just
Yeah.
missed the joke completely.
Nick Kroll.
It's like you've never even played. It's like you've never even played chess. Dude.
Yeah, Rosie's playing chess. You're playing Chinese chess.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's playing like
Chinese checkers.
Trouble or one of those games where you pop up the
Yeah,
dice in the middle.
Boggle, yeah.
check.
He's playing Uno, but he's
Check, and he's
cheating.
coming on it as well.
What's it called? Panic?
I say check when I'm about to come.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad. I should add that to the joke.
Say check when you're about to come and mate when you want to friend zone them.
See, aren't you glad we've had this podcast? So
Uh,
we got to get back to ScoMo before we get back into this movie.
Yeah. Let's get back.
Because
to
that was
Scubbo.
big news. The first movie we ever did, Eurotrip. Someone hacked his website
Oh yeah,
so that Scotty doesn't know
Oh
plays.
yeah, that's true.
I
That's a
would-
real low blow to ScoMo.
Yeah.
ScoMo, my bro. Yeah.
That was a mic swing.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm Adam.
For the
I'm Adam
benefit of
Lazarus.
Do you think
The three people in
ScoMo
the
went on
room.
and said, "Oh no"?
No, that's not bad. I was doing some Adam Lazarus shit. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I would love to think that was one of our fans being like, "This would be funny.
Yeah.
This would get Hastings' attention."
Hey, speaking of fans, we had a fan come to
A
Wayward
live comedy show last night.
Apparently
they?
they met the
Thankfully-
Rose. I don't know.
Thankfully, she walked
Really?
in after the chat.
Yeah, I don't remember their name. Shout out for listening though.
What did they look like?
They had brown hair. They were a woman.
Hastings was trying to
I've met a lot of
solicit
those.
nudes while
You are one of those.
That's true.
I was not trying to solicit nudes.
But I bet she
But-
didn't have a goatee. Right?
But if you are listening,
No, this was
we ate it all 69 at gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And if we
Man, how'd you
69, I
lock
will
down
eat it all.
that email address?
How did it take me 24 episodes to make that joke?
This is like episode 29, I did.
Oh my
or
God.
28, maybe. I
We've
think
been
it's
doing
29.
this too long.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time
No.
to pack it in.
I'm so
Maybe.
glad I'm on the final episode.
We're not. That's on the final episode.
Yeah, you'd go out with a better one.
The saddest thing is that this is going to go on for much longer than that.
So much longer.
Like, we're going to do 200 episodes and be watching Porky's 4.
Yeah.
You're
Meatballs.
gonna start
man.
making teen sex comedies just to have something to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, pornos, we call them.
I think
Yeah.
that is probably the end game of this, right? We write
We've talked
and
about
star
this.
in
Well,
our
me
own
and
film.
Jamie have been planning on running a teen sex comedy for like 2 years now.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
This
how
is
this podcast started.
this
were
is
there
the
when we had the
genesis of
idea.
the podcast.
And that
Yeah,
was-
this was when you were Fat
This
Sanderson.
was, no, this was before Fat Sanderson. This is when I tried to morph
Oh,
back into him
yeah,
after
that's
100
what
I mean.
The
years,
Fat
yeah.
Sanderson relapse is my favorite Fat Sanderson
That
story.
was a pretty good time. We were in Melbourne in 2016 for Fest, and we had gone to Hungry Jack's after, I'm pretty sure, what was a mediocre show.
I think it's better
In
if I
the-
tell it from my perspective.
Oh, please.
So
And
We
say
have
when
told
you-
this story,
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
we?
And when you say fest, you mean Melbourne International Comedy Festival Club.
For professional
For
comedians.
professional comedians.
yeah, I was
that
had
have
it
money.
after a long night of network.
We have actually told this story on the podcast.
Oh.
But have you made sure to highlight that it is a professional comedians festival?
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
let's
after-
bring it up one more time.
After a long night of networking with Corey White, Tom Sanderson worked himself up a little hunger.
I got that
Ravenous.
networking pang.
The punchline is he ate 9 cheeseburgers while crying.
It was,
Like, what do you
no,
want to do?
no, no. It was
And
8.
screaming.
It was 8 cheeseburgers.
You bought 12 though, right?
Yeah.
No, you brought 8
I
and you
bought-
ate 7 because I ate the last one.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep with them
Yeah.
next to me on the couch.
You better believe I took that
Man,
one.
you really went hog wild on that trip, didn't you?
That was a great trip. I also remember yelling, I'm not sure what your policy on racial and homophobic slurs is on this podcast, but I said some bad words. I yelled it into a grave. We were staying across from the cemetery.
That's right.
Me and Alex got
Yeah.
on the wrong tram. We ended up on the wrong side of this big-ass cemetery, and we were fucking tanked. And so we were walking back through it. My legs were getting wet from the dew. It was very cold Melbourne.
Wait,
night.
sorry, was that the slur?
No.
My
feet-
legs were getting wet for the Jew. Ben Caution was there.
Anyway, I leaned into a grave out of frustration at some point and yelled N-word, F-word.
That's funny.
And R.I.P.
But it's all one word. So.
R.I.P. to the N-word.
4
F-word.
G's
And-
in
and-
one slur. It's
yeah.
insane.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
to that
maybe that-
indigenous
Is that a
homosexual.
thing? Like the most hurtful slurs always have to have a double G.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's got 4.
You cug.
Yeah,
It's
Snoop
got
D-O double G.
it's got good mobile coverage.
Should we talk about this
4G.
fucking movie for a second?
Yeah.
All right, hang
Give it a
on.
lick.
Here's a question. What in-betweener is you?
You're
Well,
Neil.
I
You
do-
are Neil.
Yeah,
You
the
are
well-meaning
Neil.
boob.
Hastings is Jay, and Jay's
Nah.
dad is Hastings' dad.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Nah, that's not true.
Which
like,
one's
you got-
Jay?
Jay's the sex-obsessed one that makes up all the stories.
Yeah, that sounds about
And
I
right.
it's-
don't make
and
up my stories.
Yeah, I know, but the dad is like, all right, well, Hastings got a real small dick, yeah? And you're like,
That is
Dad,
true.
stop it.
My dad does do that, yes.
Last pussy he touched was his mum on the way out.
Amy turned to me while I was watching this movie, and she was like, you're Will. And I was like, oh, no.
You are.
Does that
Yeah,
make
yeah.
me Simon?
That's
would
not
have-
necessarily how
I guess we'd
things
like
work. No,
I think I'm Will as
no.
well.
Ben Squires is Simon.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
don't talk about
definitely.
people who aren't on here.
We should get Squires on the
You
pod,
should get
though.
Squires on the
Sando,
podcast.
leave. Get Squires.
Yeah, sub him in. He's been sleeping on the futon.
Me and Sando watched this
Hey,
movie
don't
together.
make it
We
sound
did,
like
we
I've
watched
got
it.
a futon.
Yeah, no, I brought my own.
This is an adult's apartment.
We watched it. We watched the movie
We got a
while
look-
you were smoking my weed. You piece of shit.
Out of my bong.
Yeah, that you
which
broke.
then I broke. I broke
you
my
are
bong.
such an incompetent pot addict.
Yeah.
No, it's probably for the best. Let's face it. You're starting a new job. You
Yeah.
can't turn in at 11 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
anymore.
you
half
broke it
stoned.
on purpose so you could start a new phase as a
Yeah, exactly.
competent
You released
office
the curse.
I was early to work yesterday.
So
Wow.
you showed up at 9:17.
I showed up at 8:54.
Okay, so
Oh, wow.
you were late.
Is,
2
it,
minutes the
is that
first
to
day,
make
3
up the
minutes
2
the
days
second
that
day.
you were late?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Roughly.
you've
Did
almost
they,
broken
did they
even.
force you to do it?
I've also worked late every day except my first day. But whatever.
Yeah, because you've been on a fucking
Except
group
your
chat
first
all
day.
day.
man.
Your first day you took off
Been on
early.
Chatterbait all day. Like,
No, well,
Have
okay.
you guys ever gone on Chatterbait?
Yeah, of course.
I've starred on Chatterbait.
Have you really?
No.
Oh man,
Is
that'd
that
be
something
so
you do? Is
interesting.
it-
I
Yeah, no,
haven't.
you can. Like,
I presume it's like
Cam?
cam thing.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
a cam thing.
It sucks.
Cam James.
Yeah, it's Cam James.
It's good if you. It's good if
Just
you
him live
pay.
He just
streaming and a
jerks
bunch of
off on
comics.
there.
No, comics jerking off to
Yeah,
him.
if you
Oh,
pay, but then like I could just watch porn for free. No,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
never do that. That's not woke. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I pay for my porn. Do you guys not pay for your porn?
I
course
pay
we
for,
don't.
You pay for the good stuff.
I
The child
mostly
pornography.
no.
I go on this little thing called the dark web to pay for
No,
my
it's
pornography.
not what I do.
But you only,
No.
you only pay in Bitcoin and cash in the back alley.
Oh,
Hastings jerks off to the surveillance videos of the Columbine High School shooting.
Yes.
To be fair,
I'm okay
they
with
are-
that joke.
The camera work is
Well,
very
they're all
well done.
underage,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but they got their clothes on, so it's not porn.
And they're dead.
Did you ever see that chick who got the tattoo of a still from the
I
CCTV?
did. I
think you
Tom,
showed that
I
to
showed
me.
that to you.
That's fucking hot.
I'm
A
obsessed
tattoo-
with that photo.
A tattoo of what?
It's a photo of Eric Klebold.
Nah,
walking through-
Dylan Klebold.
Dylan Klebold.
Eric
what's
Harris.
It? Harris, yeah. Dylan Klebold walking through. with
It's
the-
it's a shot. It's like a famous shot from
The
the security
security camera one
footage
where he
Of
does-
Columbine.
of the actual
It's like
Columbine.
Jesus
massacre.
Christ.
I got
Like,
it
the
tattooed.
ink is real well done because the perspective is perfect. It's got that like slight fish eye, man. And it's all
Why
black and
would
white
you
and
get
hot
that?
as fu-
Man.
to give dudes like me and Hastings bonus. That's
Yeah.
why.
To attract some real sad men.
Woo.
Oh man, no. Well, like it's common for like I've seen like a lot of people with like serial killers tattooed on them and stuff. That's like a common thing. I think
Which
it's
serial
pretty
killer
lame.
Did you get tattooed on you, Hastings?
Captain Cook. Yeah, I'm woke.
Oh, baby.
yeah, I'm fucking woke,
Holy
dude.
one.
Your gut is hanging out beneath your shirt.
At least he
Yeah,
did
I'm
his belt
fucking
up.
woke, dude.
I guess he's not so secretly fat.
Yeah, I guess.
We've done that one on the pod already.
You
so.
have put on weight a little bit.
Guys, I'm freaking out.
So have I.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
same.
know.
I put on a ton of
I'm
weight.
freaking out a little bit because, like, I just can't. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I can't focus at work. I don't know what's going on. I
Yeah,
can't
you-
maintain. I've been like timing. I can maintain focus
Keep
for about
your hand
15
off
seconds
your
at a
dick.
time.
Is it because you have taken so much Ritalin that's not prescribed to you that you've inadvertently given yourself ADD?
No, because I tried taking more Ritalin. And it made
Yes,
it-
that's
no,
going
it made it worse. Like I tried to take Ritalin at work.
Yeah,
and it
maybe
made it worse.
self-medicating
That
isn't a
Valiant
good
Valiant
idea.
helped, but I wasn't feeling anxious. It just helped me focus. Like, and a psych told me that like that's like it's a symptom of anxiety, even if you're not feeling anxious. Of like over like brain overgoing. Like,
Is this the psych that comes to Hemingway's occasionally?
Oh, you're the one with the alcohol problem.
Yes, it was that psych.
Oh, so
yes.
she's an agent of Pat Doherty. She's probably
Yeah,
feeding you
oh, yeah.
misinformation, so you don't.
I
get
don't go to
bored.
that psych anymore. I've got a
Yeah,
new
that's
psych.
true.
I got a new psych. She's great, actually.
Alfie Canic.
My new psych's
Yeah.
way better. She's
Yeah, you
cool.
know one's great because she listened when I told her not to tell me not to smoke weed.
Here's the thing, though. I've done a better job of not smoking weed with her than I did with my last one because, like, I didn't feel this insane pressure. Like
there's nothing like somebody bearing down.
someone just, just being like,
Just get off my back, mum.
yeah, she's just like, yeah, if you want to have a joint with your friends, that's okay. Like that's made it a lot easier for me to not smoke at home. Also, not living with a drug dealer anymore has also helped.
Oh,
That
man.
made it a lot harder.
I'm glad you don't live with her anymore either.
Yeah, Sando fucked her.
I did, and I still haven't paid her for
Yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I owe her money too.
Did
Yeah.
you pay her for the cocaine that I had?
Just a few
good
cocaine
on you.
cowboys.
Yeah, which drugs have we done, Jamie?
I don't even like it.
I've done cocaine
don't like
with
it
you,
either.
Rose.
Yeah, I know.
Hastings loves it. I don't understand it.
I don't like it.
It's so corporate.
Yeah, I love.
The only
That's my
ti-
favorite part.
But I
of it.
always do it because if it's put in front of me, I'll be like fucking 10 beers deep. And someone's like, you want this? I'm like, sure. But
Yeah, it is
Well,
fun to put stuff
hold
up
on,
your nose, but
hold on, Rose. Are you seriously trying to claim that you do not like cocaine?
yes.
You are so full of shit.
I
Jamie,
don't.
weigh in.
Well, I mean, I've never seen Rose do cocaine.
You've been there when she's done it. You just weren't in the
Nah.
bathroom at the time.
No, Rose is always on cabs when I see it.
No,
Yeah.
Rose has done coke at Powerbomb.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that
I gave her
case,
some.
I condemn the.
Yeah, but I don't like
It's
it.
just-
I always go, oh, yeah. And
It
then I
wasn't like
realize,
you had one line and was like, oh, no, thanks. You had like 3 lines, like over the course of an hour and a half.
no, I didn't. I had one.
All right,
Ooh,
maybe I'm
you
thinking of someone
greedy
else.
little
Yeah,
kid.
maybe you're thinking of you doing
3
6
lines over the course of an hour.
And you just got
one.
I'm Rose.
Yeah, you just got dissociative identity. You're cupping your
Yeah,
titties and being like,
it was
I'm
fucking
Rose.
you.
Hastings, you're dumb.
Rose is just a psychotic break of yours.
Oh, man. Imagine
That
if...
would make so much sense,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
The idea that you've invented a second personality that is also trans is very on brand for you.
Yeah.
God, that is real, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you've been like living with a second personality for 28 years, and in the 27th, they were like, "Yeah, I'm trans," and you're like, "Yeah, cool, dude."
Hey,
Also,
I'm
it's-
woke as
my
shit.
alter ego's trans, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty good.
I'm
I'm proud of
expecting
you,
him to
man.
look at me to like see if I start flickering.
Yeah. You do the
Oh,
Avengers
man.
Infinity War thing, and you're just like, "I feel cold," and you just fade away.
Is this
That
gonna be
reference
like
is absolutely lost on me.
It's a good ref, Jake. Is this going to be like a Tyler Durden thing where I'm going to realize you're not real, but then all these people are going to be like, you're a transphobe. Trans people are real.
You've been
Nah, it'll
blo-
turn out that you are Rosie Piper and you're actually trans.
You've been
Oh, man.
You've been blowing up trans clinics and saying it's Project Mayhem.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Knock, knock. Look
That-
the devil
that
in.
was-
Manhand.
Level it.
Project Manhand.
That reality would make sense. Is like you've created Hastings to deal with
It would
the
explain
fact
the
that you
haircut.
don't want to be a trans woman.
See, now I'm scared
In like
that
a
I'm
Fight
not
Club
real.
situation.
Now I'm scared that I don't exist.
Yes,
No,
you're a
you're-
fake person.
no,
Hastings.
you
You've
exist.
always been. You've always been a construct of all these fucking
Figment of
neuroses.
Rose Pie
There's
and
nothing
imagination.
real about
No,
you.
dude, you exist. You're trans though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I love beating off.
You,
Hey, you can keep your dong right to
You're
the
That's
end.
true. Yeah.
You're F2M, dude.
Oh.
Jamie smoked weed this week
Yeah, I did.
Again.
with me.
Yeah.
He had
Ooh.
one
His best
tiny
mate.
little... I'm so happy, though, because I was there.
I
So-
had two.
You were
I
3
had,
steps behind.
I had a few goes on it.
You had like
Few
2
chuffs on
of
the
the
magic.
tiniest
honks on
drags
the-
I've ever seen. And it was a
It
pretty
it
like...
was mostly tobacco.
It was like a pretty small joint.
But I'm still taking the win. Jamie smoked weed with me. It was sick.
yeah.
Yeah, I smoked weed with Tom.
Yeah, dude.
And
I just watched.
My weed.
bystanders.
Yeah, oh, you were stand on the outside, Hastings.
All right, let me check my notes.
Look,
As an aside,
Sando knocked. I let the devil in.
As an aside, can I
devil
just say
has
that
letters.
my housemate's mum has been staying here like the last week, and
no
I
shit.
didn't know if she was here or not, and I'm so glad that she's not.
Oh man, I thought you were about to say she is here and she's batting a rolling pin in her hand.
No, she's a delightful New Zealand woman.
Toaster,
Oh, is
what's
this the one
up?
that knows Joe?
Or her mum.
There's no point going into this. These are.
Oh, yeah,
people-
Sam's been on the podcast.
Oh really?
She's
Yeah,
shared a story.
Oh, that's nice.
It was pretty gross, actually. Good on it.
But
Yeah.
for me.
It was like a it was a grubby one.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's lovely.
Well,
She cooks in the kitchen and listens to us live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've told me that before. That
Mostly
seems
shakes
like
her head every time Hastings says something about fucking someone. But there's a glint in her eye.
I love the
Look,
idea
man.
you guys just give Hastings hope. Just
Oh man, how about this? Hey, Rose, do you remember the walk home from Bar Broadway the other night?
Is this the
Yeah.
Jackson story?
No. This
Oh,
is
what did Rosie
when
do?
you didn't do anything on Saturday night.
Oh no, yeah, like walking home
Yeah, I
like,
can't-
with KFC in hand, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I felt awkward because I just wanted to go
should've.
home. I should have just gone.
Yeah.
but I felt like this.
I
kind of
wanted you to.
What happened?
You should have dropped some hint because I wanted to just power ahead.
So we were all at Bar Broadway after Powerbomb Comedy Festival. It went very well.
this is you having sex with the 22-year-olds.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
reasonable
sorry,
age.
12-year-olds.
Yeah.
22-month-old.
She was,
Regular Ian Watkins.
she was very attractive.
How can you tell?
No, the 22-year-old.
Yeah, you got to say you're not a pedophile first.
I'm not a pedophile. She was 22.
Unsolved.
No. No. Anyway, so I pick up this girl and it was pretty sick.
We'd gone
You
drinking or
picked her
whatever.
up from the pram.
Because we were at this
Also,
bar. I was next to her, and she talked to me for a bit, and I was like, "Oh, she's mental. I'm hungry. I want to go get food."
Was she
so I
proper
left.
mental?
She was proper mental.
There we
Proper
go.
mental bird.
There we go. We've done the in-between.
Yeah.
She was a fit mental bird. Yeah,
But I went to
these beers I
KFC,
paid for 'em.
and then
Can I have
leaving
Yep.
leaving
Yay.
KFC.
You can't.
I as I walk past the door,
buy you one after.
he walks out with this proper fit mental bird.
Yeah.
How fit was she?
Like the timing was
Proper.
really
She was
unfortunate.
Proper.
banging.
She-
Proper.
Also, Bar Broadway is round the corner from our respective houses. Because, as if you haven't heard on other episodes, we live next door to each other. So, yes. Anyway, continue, Rose.
Rose is
No,
literally
my
the
part
guy
of the story was
So
done.
I walk out of the pub with this girl, and I'm like, all right, come back to mine. Walk out of the pub, and we just walk straight into fucking Rose with a big bag of KFC, and she's like, oh, hey guys, and we're all drunk and fucked up. And then because I want to take my Viagra before I get to the house.
Oh yes, I remember witnessing you do that.
I wanted to get Viagra, but I
It's
didn't
like a
want her to
party
know.
pump.
So I was able to sneak on the way out of the pub. I was able to sneakily get it into my pocket because I was planning on taking.
Oh
it.
yeah,
Man, you know, if you have to
because I
hide
had
your prescription drug use from your sexual partners, especially if it's like sex drugs.
Yeah, I got a message today.
because you're lucky you ran into me because I had this
Yeah.
drink from KFC and he's like, "Could I have some of that?"
I love the idea of you shoving a fucking Viagra pill in a chicken thigh. saying, Can I eat one of those?
I didn't get a drink with
Wink.
this combo. Just pop it in this popcorn
Yeah.
chicken.
Anyway, she turned out to be a pretty horrible person. I had to kick her out of my house. But
No, that's not the end of the story. So it turned out to be a horrible person. Yes, I could have told you that. She's friends with my ex. Anyway,
Friend of the
she's
pod.
a bad. What? My ex is a friend of the pod. Please do
No,
not
both
say
of
that.
them are.
No,
No,
God
I'm
damn.
making it up.
Oh, thank God. Anyway,
I have no idea who
so
listens.
yeah,
It's
she's a bad person. So she chewed Hastings out for no reason at all because he's in an open marriage.
She was being-
Fine.
We don't need to talk about this part. It's
being real mean.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then Hastings, when she apologized to him, and
right, yeah.
she had to, I told my ex, I was like, yeah, she said some really fucked up shit to my friend. I would really appreciate it if she apologized. She apologized to Hastings. Hastings
Very remorsefully.
immediately tries to tee up another hangout. He's like, hey, look,
why?
we'll call it even
Why?
if
Real
you
hot
can buy
roast.
me a
Ah,
beer.
she's not that good. Not
She's-
not enough to
That's so
forgive that.
funny.
Not
Like,
at all.
Yeah.
did you tell Yvette that you tried to tee it up again?
Yeah, she was like, "What the fuck?" She had a go.
Yes!
she was
Of
like,
course
that.
she
She
should
was
have.
She was just like, "You're an idiot." Like,
Yes, you are an idiot.
whatever. I stand by it.
Oh man, very.
No, but the fact that it was a swing and a miss. Is
Look,
the
you miss
best
every
part.
shot you don't take. I'm the Michael Jordan of fucking.
You miss
Get on my
every
level,
shot.
Be like Mike.
You miss every shot.
That's not objectively untrue.
very good friend of ours and very talented stand-up comedian Sean Smith was listening to the podcast today and messaged me all caps ha ha ha's, and she was like, does Hastings really use Viagra to beat off sometimes?
I got the same message.
And then she called you a bunch of homophobic
Only
slurs.
when I'm like on coke and shit. Like if I'm on drugs, I will. Yeah. Just
Man, you're already on drugs. Why do you need to beat off?
because it helps me sleep. Also, it's fun.
So does not doing
It's
drugs.
like more doing drugs and beating off is more fun than not doing drugs and beating off.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I would know, Tom.
I don't like beating off high. I don't think it's
I
fun.
love beating off high.
I've
Not
never,
weed.
I've never
Not
beat
weed.
off
I'm
on.
talking like
no, I've never beat off on MDMA. and
you
it doesn't-
should. It's great.
No,
Do you
it
need
sounds
to
like it'll
take
just last
Viagra to do
forever.
it,
And
Sometimes, yeah.
I beat off
Coke every time.
I beat off in a hostel in Holland after smoking from a glass vaporizer bong once.
Yeah,
and it was
brother.
the best fucking
Yeah, beating
cum
off high
I've
on weed is
ever
pretty
done.
good if you can work up the energy to do it.
Like, I was in this tiny hostel bathroom. I think I've mentioned the hostel before on the pod. It was where all the
And Frank died.
Yeah, it was where Anne Frank died.
she actually died in Auschwich, so
Yeah. Well, not necessarily, but who knows?
it's like pretty much confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was this place with our room was a hostel and every room was movie themed, so our walls were all covered in Austin Powers murals. So the walls were purple.
Yeah,
and it just had a
baby.
full thing of Mike Myers saying, "Yeah."
Did it
baby."
make you
Did it
horny?
It did make me a little horny, dude. But
Imagine being in a fucking hostel in Amsterdam and there's just a big painting of Alexi on the wall going, dude, I'm horny.
but yeah,
Funny, dude.
I smoked all night out of this glass vaporizer that these Dutch people very nicely set up for us. It was glorious. I just smoked so much weed. I came home. I had a little wank in the
Nice.
toilet. Oh, we're just taking a photo of Hastings doing some bullshit. But
He's doing his next album cover. It's him hanging
Yeah.
himself with a mic cord.
I I had a wank in like a tiny hostel toilet, like a private toilet. But when I came, because I was so high, it felt like the room had rocked, like it had
Fuck
tilted
yeah, dude.
on its axis. Like I was like,
Fuck
this
yeah.
is such a
Mad
good
wank,
calm.
dude.
I've had an earthquake. And then I got out and I was like, is the room fucked?
I will say this too, though, Tom. The one thing I would advise against about beating off on MDMA is like, because often you're doing this at 5 or 6 a.m. What is bad is going through your Facebook Messenger the next morning and all the messages you've sent.
well, yeah, of course, it's the
Just
last
like,
resort.
like just
of
to
a
women,
lonely
like to
man.
women who you have had sex, like who you,
Oh yeah.
sexually. I'm not being
Or,
creepy about it, but it's just a lot of. So you up or like?
Yeah.
All the things you
Oh,
said, all the things you said, running through your head, running through your head.
I used
lot
to
of mornings
beat the
like that.
shit off to that music video.
Oh, who did it?
I mean, I talk about Hastings like he's
It's a formative
like,
part in
dirt
a young
on the bottom of my
lesbian's
shoe,
life.
but we're really more similar than I'd like to
and a
admit. I've
performative
had
part
that.
in a young Andy's.
I've had that morning
And in
more
their
often
life.
than I'd
They
like
weren't
to
really
admit.
gay.
Yeah, that's performative. That's the ultimate performance. Thank you for saying that you like me, Tom. I appreciate it. You scumfuck.
I'm like you, and I like you.
Scumfucks unite. Sum
Yeah,
41.
brother. We're forming a union. but
Do
we're
we
all
want to talk
scabs.
about this movie? We've done an hour basically, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about
They're
it.
so unlikable. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I think that is the
You
the
kind
only-
of need to see the TV show. I
Yeah,
think.
you
But
really need to see the TV
I like
show.
Let's do
I
every
like
episode.
Neil the boob, but like I feel like the only way they made them like you root for them was to make the evil guy like the most unlikable
In
person.
the
Yeah.
show,
Well, the
He's not
TV
likable
show,
at
they
all.
just
He's
constantly
very likable.
fail.
they constantly fail. And like Jay is so pathetic. Like it makes up for how horrible he is. He's so fucking pathetic in it.
Yeah.
Like, every
he's like the
yeah.
star. He's like the standout of the show. For
Every
sure.
episode of the show, they try to do something and fail.
And every episode
very
they fail.
spectacular.
Like,
Mm.
This is
Like
like this is the only time I think they win. Even like the finale of the show, they fail. Like
Yeah, and then they fuck it up with the sequel movie set in Australia where they immediately retcon all the girlfriends. They make that they re-pathetic them, but then we'll save that for Inbetweeners 2, which I think.
Oh god.
Like I don't mind Inbetweeners 1.
I haven't seen Inbetweeners 2.
Oh man, it's very bad.
I believe that. Well, do you remember there was a period? I remember thinking this was ridiculous because it was just a sitcom. It's just a British sitcom. The other thing as well is this movie. You know they're like form master or whatever it's called. They're the
Yeah.
teacher that's like he's
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
show heaps, and he's like my favorite character other than maybe Jay in the show.
Yeah,
he's
he's
in
got two
one.
scenes.
Yeah, he's in like one or two scenes
And
in the fucking
second
movie.
one's after the credits.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
He's on the-
Which is about 2
He-
seconds
he's
long.
like an incredible character in the show. He's so
He
like
is.
He's so mean to the students.
To be
like,
fair
he's so good.
to the movie, putting him in
Oh, that
in
would
a
be
supporting
insane.
role,
Would have seemed very ham-fisted.
yeah,
Well-
it would be like, all right, I'm also on holiday
I don't-
now, you benders.
If I would have made the Inbetweeners movie, I wouldn't have made them on holiday. I would have made it in their town, and there's just a big story.
I think if you make the Inbetweeners movie, you make it so that they miss the holiday and everyone else is
Yeah,
there,
exactly. And
And
something
they're just at home, like, and then like maybe they can meet like the cute girls at the local bar.
yeah, there'd be some story, whatever.
Man, are we writing the Inbetweeners 3?
No, they're
It's their
30
sons.
something now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
perfect.
we play them now.
Oh, yeah.
We're also 30 something.
You ever draw a
If
dick
there-
on your
if there's
friend's
one
back?
thing Hastings is good at is it's pretending to be younger than he actually
yeah, but
is.
failing spectacular.
Yes.
No.
I don't think anyone would meet Hastings in a bar and be like, "What are you, 22?"
Yeah.
They honestly 2 years ago that happened, and something's just gone wrong in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you're fat and you've got facial hair.
I've just aged up so fucking quick. I don't know what happened,
Grow the
man.
moustache back. It's the hallmark of a young man.
Once I'm comfortable with my job, I might actually grow the moustache back.
I don't think it makes you look young though.
No, God, no. It's just who cares? Like, I don't. I'm.
That
I was
is
actually
definitely the approach you
Can
should
I-
take to how you look from
genuine
now on.
question. Speaking of who cares about how I look, I think I'm better looking with like not necessarily this length hair, but like what it was before, like where it was like long, but not like when it was like long. What do you guys think if I grow back like the long hair, like when I had like nipple length hair?
No.
Rat's tail.
Man, it looked
Rat's
disgusting,
tail.
but it was kind of cool, right?
No.
I
No.
might grow it back.
Have you ever said something right and someone said yes?
When I was 19, I said to my ex-girlfriend, "Hey, do you think I could try stand-up comedy?" And she was like, "Maybe."
Oh, fuck. Where's
Now
it?
we
different
know
thing.
that was a
That's where the
patient zero.
that's where the chest joke came from.
And speaking
gotta-
of like facial hair,
Yes,
and
we would
stuff,
go back in time and kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to go back in time and like stop a million ex-girlfriends telling guys they could do comedy, stop a million jokes being written about going back in time and killing Hitler. That joke was cleverer than it was funny.
Or about chest.
Immediately walked it back.
Yeah.
As I
That
said, it, I
joke
was like,
wasn't
"This
good.
isn't funny. It's just complicated."
tangent, yeah, no.
Like it made sense. Like it.
Speaking of facial hair, I whinged about this on social media the other day. Is like because I'm getting my face lasered now, but it works on different parts of the face. Is like if I don't shave for a couple of days, I look like I have a goatee.
Fuck
and
yes.
It's really upsetting.
Fuck yes, dude.
Are you
really
getting
fucking
lasered
upsetting.
by frickin' sharks with laser beams?
That's fine.
Dude, that
Pretty
reference made me horny.
horny.
Man, let's just do a parody podcast of our friends' podcast.
Except that it would just be us screaming, "Dude, I'm horny" for an hour.
Rosie,
I'm
how high up
horny.
on the side?
We've
burns
got
do they go
Rove
with the
McManus as a
laser?
guest. How the fuck
Like,
did Mike Check get
the
Rove
whole
McManus?
way.
Oh, wait.
No, we should talk about Rove McManus and not about Rosie's life-changing journey she's going through. You're absolutely right.
Cunt, we've been talking about it for 29 episodes. You just got here.
Yeah. I'm already higher on the ladder
How
than you, I
come?
think.
No, how about this? How come fucking Alexi and Cam can get Rove on their fucking podcast? They get Will Anderson on their podcast. We have Tom Sanderson on our podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
You're not going to have me on again.
That's no way to treat
That's
a
real
guest.
rude, yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's not how you're
That's how you
supposed
didn't
to
get the
treat
second beer.
family.
this is interesting though.
Yeah, I did a good one.
That was great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a big
pretty
one.
good. I was like, you know, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies where Splinter is like, "I cracked a
I'm
funny,"
listening.
and then everyone's like, "Yeah, dude."
Oh, yeah.
That was what I just did then. I was the old mentor being like, "I did a funny."
All right, dudes, let's party.
Yeah, let's get us some pizza.
All right, now that we've got some accents going, now we're cooking with gas. All right. This is what it's interesting you bring up the like transition stuff, Rose, because I was just thinking like it's kind of fucked that we have someone in the early stages of a transition, which is like such an interesting thing, and yet we still spend 45 minutes talking about how sad my life is. We should talk more about
Are you
this.
saying that Rosie's life is sad?
No, I'm saying it's interesting.
Yeah, you saying that being a trans
Yeah, but
person
it's not
is sad?
funny. It's interesting, but it's not funny.
It's sad now.
It's kind
I
of
mean, the goat
It's
thing
sad
is
now that
funny.
you've heard Rose's feelings.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am like heavily in the throes of puberty again, though. It's pretty fucked.
Are you on the blob?
Are you going through changes?
See the in between.
I am on
In
the
your
blob. Oh yeah, that was a reference.
Man, I will say this. I forgot in the in-betweeners, I forgot about the word clunge.
Oh,
and the
dude.
first time I heard it, I
Is
was
that
like,
where that
clam.
came from?
Yeah.
It's
Because people just started
It's-
saying
it's on the
that
TV
once.
show a lot. Yeah,
Right.
The first time I heard it, I was like, oh, great.
it's a funny word.
It's
Well, in
very fun.
in the Australian movie, did they come over here and just start saying "mutt" heaps?
Man, if you were to do an Australian version of the In-Betweeners,
Oh, it
you
would
would
be-
have the word mud in it.
Mutt or
A
jut?
lot.
Yeah.
I prefer
I've
jut.
never heard
jut
should.
a word?
Well, maybe once or twice, but that's not.
A Jewish mutt?
No, it's just the same thing, but it's just a funnier way to say
Put
it.
up
I
or
reckon.
mud up, I reckon.
Do you know
So
what I
get
reckon?
that up, you jut.
What I think is pretty gross is like pussy's fine, but puss is quite
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
It's pretty yucko. Makes me horny, baby.
You ever heard someone call it a gunt?
Yeah, but that's more when you've got
No,
a
gun's
gut
a gut.
overhanging.
Yeah.
So your gut overhangs your pussy.
Yeah, that's for fat people.
Fupa.
Yeah.
What do you call
Does that
that?
mean you
if
have a
it hangs
genus,
over your
Jamie?
dick?
Do you have a genus?
I was gonna say.
No, I
A
can't
gawk.
even
A
say
dick?
I have a gox.
yeah,
It's
gox.
like
It just
Got a
comes
gox.
out. It's a little penis that occasionally talks about chalky milk while I'm in the shower.
Stitched up or
Yeah,
what?
when you got a circumcision.
I don't know, man. Have you guys heard about this thing called the husband stitch?
Nope.
I read an article the other day. Apparently, this is was common practice up until 20 years ago.
Hang on,
And it's
I've heard this expression.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. It's this weird practice, it's not in any medical books or whatever. It's a weird thing doctors would do is after a woman gives birth, when they would because you know how there's a thing where the shit tears between your pussy and your asshole when you give birth.
Yeah, the gooch.
Yeah, the gooch often tears. When they're stitching that back up, apparently it was this weird, horrible common practice to do an extra stitch and make the pussy tighter. And it was called the husband stitch, and it was done with this thing of don't worry, mate, I'll fix her up for you.
Or the fucking husband
wild.
in the back there, chucking an extra 50 to the doc,
That's
see if you can't
I read the article.
Fix it.
Literally, that was what the vibe was. It was literally that. It's fucking horrible.
My favorite.
Pretty funny idea though.
My favorite thing about this is that Hastings.
That's gonna
is
be
going,
me though,
yeah.
slipping an extra 50 in the doctor.
Make it a good one.
Make it real tight, eh?
Here's to a
I want to
tight-
feel it
yeah.
stretch.
Why do you want a tight pussy?
I was about to
Why
say.
would you ever want a tight pussy? You're going to have short-lived, unsatisfying sex for the rest of your
I was
life.
about to say. I'm
want
not.
a cabin
I'm
down
not
there.
really
You want a
putting.
huge loose. Pussy.
You want a big...
Well, I'm not really
force
putting any.
majeure,
I'm not putting any dicks up there,
meat
so you know.
You're putting dildos up.
You might. What if
Yeah,
you
I
fuck
might.
a trans woman?
I have done that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you could have a dick in your pussy.
It's true. I
Never
could.
say never again.
That's why
I also do
it's the
plan.
best James Bond movie.
I also still plan to make a mold of my own dick so I can fuck myself with my own dick.
yeah.
I also-
And I question whether it would actually work. How do you stay hard long enough for the plaster of Paris to set?
You call up your good friend Andy Hastings.
yeah.
Yeah.
And say, you got any of those pills lying around?
Oh.
And he
And
says,
he-
nah,
Also-
I necked them all
I've
while I
been
was trying to
hard-
have
yeah.
a wank.
I've
He
been
says no, but I'll jerk you off for a bit instead.
I've been hard for an hour straight.
Brag.
Easy.
Untrue as well. There's no way. you've been
Pre-Viagra.
hard-
Now I couldn't do
No
it.
way you've been hard for
Man,
an hour straight.
I got hard.
Absolutely.
Pubescence, maybe, when you had a tiny...
Maybe a kindly
little
friend will
pecker.
come over and dance around all sexy. For
I
me
got
or
hard
something.
at work today, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting."
That does not happen to
That
me
happened to me
anymore.
today as well, but it was because someone sent me nudes. It's pretty sick.
No,
That-
I was
that
just
just-
looking.
I
at
got
spreadsheets.
hard at work today as
I
well.
like.
You
I
shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
should
was
do
doing
that,
my
Tom.
admin time.
I
Yeah,
no
I
long.
was-
I no
Is
longer.
admin time what you call masturbating?
I
Is
do not
admin-
masturbate at
is
work. Oh no, this is not happening to me. This
Is
an Andrew
admin
Hastings
time
bit.
when
I'm not even saying it's over kids.
is admin time when Hastings sends his Dropbox link to you full of all that child porn?
I don't do
admin
that.
time is when Hastings
No.
sends his Dropbox link to me and I forward it to the federal police because it is a crime, Andrew.
A Dropbox is what I call a prolapse pussy.
That's the best joke we've ever done.
Holy
on the podcast. Oh
Holy
man,
shit.
and also it'll get you in so much trouble with all the people you.
I don't
think that's
care.
kind of where you got to end it.
I love
right?
the idea as well that you were going on about the husband stitch like it was a bad thing, but as soon as I press stop on this recorder, you're like, yeah, husband stitch, dude. You'll be like, I'm getting a
Hastings
vet. I'm
almost
getting a
wishes he
vet
wants
two
kids.
husband stitches.
Pussy tightness isn't really a thing I worry about.
Pussy tightness could suck.
Yeah,
a
because they're
dick.
all loose to you, you pin dick motherfucker.
Yeah. Five us.
You say pin dick. I say accommodating. I say it's one size fits all. You know what I'm saying?
Stop putting your dick in strawberries, dude. It's crashing the...
It's a damn Ras joke.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, it fucking is. It was in the group chat as well.
Yeah.
Hey, so
I
I
am not
no,
original.
I no longer get morning glory.
Really, that must be nice.
No, it probably will be, but right now I'm getting used to the feeling of waking up and needing to piss, but I don't.
a soft
have-
ass pain.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
yeah.
thing, morning
it
glory is
feels
always
like
just being
more
you-
panicked.
You need a piss.
I
right?
would hate that if
Yeah.
I woke up and I needed to piss. I'm desperately pissed, but my dick was just soft as shit. I'd
Yeah.
be like, I'd just start punching it. And be like,
If
what's wrong?
It feels more panicked. I'm like, I gotta get up.
I have
Oh,
two.
yeah.
I have two morning glory questions. First of all, do you get them from naps or do you only get it from a proper sleep?
I only get it from a good night's
Mostly,
sleep.
yeah, you've got to get that REM.
Okay, so I get
Or
it
you
from
don't-
naps.
Well, you don't have to have good REM if you've got someone lying next to you. I tend to find I wake up with a boner if I'm next to someone.
Maybe that's what it is.
Part of
because
it is just being supine.
What happens to me sometimes? Yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm bringing up because what happens
Because
to
it's
me
just the
sometimes,
blood rushing there.
Sometimes what happens to me is I won't even be fully asleep. I'll be dozing, not even fully unconscious.
Not fully asleep, but
And
fully
then
erect.
I'll be in bed with the vet, not touching her, nothing sexual at all. And she'll be like, "Why do you have a boner?"
Because she's shoving Viagra's down your throat while you're
Not down his
sleeping.
throat, up his dick.
Being
hole.
like, I just
This
love.
must work, right?
I just love him to be sexually attracted to me and stay home maybe 3 nights a week.
But yeah, I get
Man,
like
stop quoting things she's actually said to him. That's so fucked.
that is something she actually said.
You immediately posted that in the group chat like we were meant to do something about it.
No, that was an in-person conversation. It was you, me, Alex, Jamie,
Oh,
and Bensley.
Yeah.
It was on.
Alex and Dupree.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been fucking on fire. I'm going to take the rest of the episode off.
yeah.
Yeah, give me those headphones. I'm in charge. Just
He literally just loudly
drop your
laughing.
mic down to your dick hole.
Now he's just hitting himself in the dick with the mic.
I can't want to have a go as well.
Anyway, yeah. So I get like nap bonus.
If I don't
it's
get
weird.
someone saying I'm the MVP of
Nap
this episode,
bonus.
they're obviously right.
Whatever. Hold on. The chess shit was all me. The Dropbox.
I facilitated the chess.
No, you get the
Yeah, and I
encouragement.
Throwing
executed
you
it.
alley-oops all evening.
You get the encouragement award for like being the direction of this whole
Most
episode.
improved.
Man, you guys should see the Inbetweeners if you really liked the show. If you didn't, if you thought the show was
No,
fine,
but
don't bother.
But isn't it that you shouldn't see it because it'll kind of tarnish your memory?
Totally
they're all-
disagree.
It makes
all
the movie a bit
still-
better.
It's
Yeah.
a fun extension of the movie where you're kind of like, all right, they've put some generic-y teen sex tropes into what I
A great
thought-
sitcom.
which is kind of like an anti-teen sex comedy sitcom. But there's enough of the male camaraderie in the In-Betweeners to like push it over the line. Like there's some fun moments like between the 4 guys. Like there are unnecessary things. Like
There's more stuff about their like friendship in less of a movie way in the show. Like, there's more moments of them just hanging out
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
show. Just like
Like-
because they're so funny together.
Well, like this,
like-
the movie obviously, like you called back to it earlier. The guy. All right, we're recording again. We had a little bit of a whoopsie. The SD card was too full.
Oopsie.
I
bloody
cut out
oopsie.
just as we started talking about the movie.
You might say that.
No, cut out just as you start saying the N-word repeatedly.
Yeah.
You might say.
Over and over
We
and
got pretty
over.
lucky, to be honest.
You might say that the Zoom didn't want us to talk about the movie at all, and it sent that out as a clear sign. What we were saying is that the TV show's great. You should watch it. The movie is so-so. The second one's bad.
If you have a spare
Characters are good.
hour and 40 minutes.
The football friends joke from the show is very funny.
Yeah, if you have a spare hour and 40 minutes and you enjoy the show, the movie will likely give you something. But
Yeah, I like laughed a bunch of times.
yeah, it's-
Yeah.
See, I definitely got less out of this because I hadn't watched the show.
The characters are so well defined.
Yeah,
in the
you
show.
should watch the
like,
show.
It's also like a thing of like we were saying this before it cut out, but there is a thing of like because being a movie, it needs to be structured like a movie. So you've got villains, love interests, an arc or whatever. The show
So
is
many
just them.
montages.
The show is just them fucking around in suburban England. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
All right, well that'll do it, right?
yeah, dudes.
Powerbomb Comedy Festival is over. It was the most successful thing we've all been a part of.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was very lucrative for us. We're getting a lot of sponsorship deals.
yeah, man, I'm
Absolutely.
rolling in cash.
The Cum Boys came and did our gig last night.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was
So
pretty sick.
I
Mac
think we're allowed to
Weldon
talk
and
about
Bet
them.
DSI are sure to join us as sponsors. So come to Powerbomb Comedy and Wayward's Comedy every Friday and Wednesday.
Every third Tuesday, come to Comedy at
is
Public
the third
Gate.
Sweeney's of the month.
How dare you?
If any of you cucks live in Melbourne, I need some friends, and I'm sorry for calling you cucks. If you want to
It's
hang
not very
out,
work.
hit me up. Thomas.albert.sanderson@gmail.com.
I think we have about 6 Melbourne listeners.
Fucking
Me-
A, that's my new best friend group. That's a new Powerbomb, man.
Me and
I'm so
Andy
stoked.
will be repairing our relationship from these brutal roasts we've been giving each other. And we need some time to heal.
Yeah, if you want to be at Tudor Hotel in 10 minutes from us finishing recording this, come have a
Yeah,
beer.
That's what we call our wellness retreat. Going to the hotel.
Oh yeah.
You coming to Tudor, Sander?
Yeah, for fucking.
Rose, you
sure.
want to come down?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Sure, they'll serve you. You prepubescent again.
Sorry, we don't
check
serve
your ID.
goateed fucks in here.
We don't serve goateed 14-year-old girls.
Look, either
And
shave-
Hastings will be
14-year-old
like, but
girls.
I
shave your chin
do.
or shave your eyebrows, or you're not allowed in. Yeah, no. Well, that's
If
all.
anyone
about
wants to
Tudor.
shape my eyebrows for free, I'll take that.
I'll shave your eyebrows. for free.
Not shave, shape.
I'll shave them.
Yeah.
Don't be shaving my eyebrows.
Shave them and save them.
Tom,
I'm not gonna
thank
draw them
you
on yet.
so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for acquiescing.
After
to my
all the
constant
things we
bullying.
said about you.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you to put up with my bullying and my browbeating about coming on the show, and then to actually have me on. It's a real honor.
Actually,
guys.
when we started the show, you were like, I don't want to be on your fucking podcast.
Yeah, you
no, I think I just
you
talk
said
shit
you
about.
hated teen sex comedies.
I don't think I said that. I said I don't have any favorites. I think I made fun of you because one episode I listened to was very Cumtown-esque, and you guys were like, we actually make a point of not being like Cumtown.
That's true. We're gonna edit that part.
We're going to edit that bit out.
No, that's funny. Guys, that's another episode in the bag. Shall we do it? Do you know how that we end the show? We confuse guests the whole time. Yeah, it's pulling a pants down, and you have to
spin around in a
you
circle.
suck the person off that's opposite you. So
We got it.
How did I pick Rosie in all of this?
So we
don't worry, it's not gay.
So like
it's very big.
Like American Pie, we say to the next ep.
We got to start
that's
sending
good.
people briefing notes.
Yeah, we should. Except it will just be
Or
me
Or just
says-
tell them before we hit record.
It just says at the end of the episode, we say to the next step. Also, Andy's a pedophile. Also, his name's Andy. Also, just a bunch of shit about
Also,
you.
you don't even need to watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
The Gentle Charles episodes are a hit.
Gentle child.
We're gonna change to consider this next week and be like, "Welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All," a podcast where we read the Wikipedia articles for teen sex comedies.
That would really make my life better.
And Charlie's just drinking wine for no reason.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a fun one. To the next step.
To the
To the
next
next
step.
ep.
Okay, so it's 4 moves. So you get the pawn, you move the pawn out, 1 or 2 spaces. It doesn't actually
Move
really
the
matter.
pawn out.
You move the bishop out, so it's like the bishop on the opposite side of the
The
queen.
bishop fucks
You
kids
get-
as well. Like
No.
Oh.
I mean, like Catholic ones. Man, I don't know, man. Anyway, so then the bishop comes out, the queen goes over, then the queen
Tell me
goes
you're gonna fade
to the
this out,
pawn
Jamie.
on the and so that's 4 move, and then I come real quick.